do a cheeky check of the stream right now, actually. I've just whacked the microphone on, so... There we go. Well, after 2 or 3 days of inclement weather, trials and tribulations here at the Sano International Cricket Ground, happy to report that the sun is shining down on Sano International Cricket Ground for the JPL 11 final. East Kanto Sunrisers taking on the South Kanto Super Kings on the foot of the Karasawa Mountains. A joy to be here in the commentary box at the Sano International Cricket Ground, 2 levels up and with arguably the best view in the house. Garth Thomas with me, Daniel Beswick, covering it all live for you on the Japan Cricket Association YouTube, also going out to Fancode and ICC TV. And Garth Thomas, after what's been a tricky couple of days here at the competition, to be able to put on a finals day here and to be able to crown a JPL champion, quite lucky to be blessed with some good weather and hopefully some good cricket.
Yeah, good morning, Daniel. Good morning, viewers. It's a beautiful day here in Sano. Expected to get up to around 22 degrees, currently 19 degrees, but not a cloud in the sky. Should be a good day's cricket. And I think it's fair to say we've probably ended up with the 2 best teams in front of us. South Kanto Super Kings and East Kanto Sunrisers about to do battle. Both teams having won this tournament 4 times apiece. Is losing a few matches. North Kanto Lions will feel a little hard done by because they haven't played the 1 match which they did win. They'll be on ground number 2 taking on West Kanto for the 3rd, 4th player. But all eyes here on Sano International Cricket Ground number 1 as the players make their way out to the middle. We're in for a good contest.
Yeah, see the 2 umpires striding out onto the ground. Krish Thurgate and Sagir Parker. And the news from the toss, well, multiple pieces of news we'll get into in a moment. First, East Kanto Sunrise winning the toss and electing to bowl as we would expect, wanting to chase here for the trophy. The other big news to come out of yesterday's action was that Kendall Karawaki-Fleming rolled his ankle in between overs on Sano International Cricket Ground number 2. He will sit out today, but the word is it's more of a precautionary change than a necessary one as we take a look at the teams. And as you mentioned, Garth, these 2 teams on paper, I think coming into the tournament, we probably considered the 2 strongest, and we do see them going toe-to-toe. East Kanto on the hunt for a 3-peat, and South Kanto last winning it in 2020. And see the 2 openers, Rahman and of course Josh Brown in number 23. He's been explosive over on Sano ground number 2. We haven't seen him on Sano ground number 1 yet. Shoma Sagai Slater opening the bowling. JPL final time. And Garth, we know Josh Brown is capable of turning it on almost at will. Gives himself a ball or 2 early just to assess the swing and the conditions here in Sano.
Yeah, currently sits at the top of the ladder and most runs scored in the tournament. So 131 previous 2 matches.
It was a little bit of a surprise in the draft. We saw Brownie fall all the way to number 4 after being such a key man as one of the international players. He's come here. This will be the 3rd year that he's been here. And for him to go so late, you know what you're going to get from him. Again, more than happy just to knock that one out to cover. We've seen him quite destructive over the years here, Garth.
Yeah, we can't forget his huge century here 2 years ago. He had remnants of that in terms of a big dent in the tea room that he left. I was talking this morning about how we probably should get him to sign that or a plaque up. Broken window here at was former Tanama High School, ground level 1. We're up on level 3, brilliant view of the ground.
Good start here from Shoma Sagai Slater as well on that line and length early. Just asking a couple of questions of Brown. He does get off the mark, although not in complete control. And just look at his scores over on ground number 2. 91 off 34 balls against the Chargers and 40 off 16 against the Hurricanes. He hit 11 sixes in that first knock we mentioned. And speaking to Alan Kerr, he managed to fetch 9 of the lost balls that he hit into the bushes. So you know how good his opening partner is. Isam Rahman is as well. End of the first over, and it's one arguably that the East Kanto Sunrisers have won through their national team fast bowler Sagai Slater. None for one, his figures, and 1 for none, the score. So to kind of reiterate the format that we've had here, or what we were supposed to have, and we got a little bit ruined by the rain. Every team was to play each other once, and then finals day, his first v second after that round robin, and we've got a third place playoff over on ground number 2. You might see a ball creep into shot, which was actually hit from the other ground. The North Kanto Lions taking on the West Kanto Hurricanes. You mentioned, Garth, that North Kanto probably consider themselves a little bit unlucky with, I suppose, the weather and the schedule not quite falling in their favour. Looks like we're going to see Chandamar opening the bowling from the school end. 1 for 27 against West Kanto. Another good start for him. Very little margin for error here on the synthetic surfaces. We are playing on them just due to all the rain that we've had and the little prep we've been able to have on the turf wickets. Over the top, Josh Brown, Tuckety. Oh, for a moment I thought he was a chance. It's just looped over his head at long off.
Yeah, his heart would have been in his mouth there for a moment as Tuckety looked to line it up, didn't he? Got airborne, but just out of reach. Maximum 6 for Josh Brown.
Took the gloves yesterday, Shioshi Takada. Gamiro back in the team. Oh, uppish. And they'll get 1. Just taking a little while for Brown to get comfortable. That no, these synthetic wickets here in Sano, normally typical, I suppose, synthetic wickets is very hard in the shorter formats to bowl spin, but the spinners have had relative success in this tournament, even on the synthetic pitches. As we see Isam Rahman taking guard. Of course, yeah, another key member of the Japan setup as well.
In terms of wickets taken in this tournament, Sisto leads that with 6 wickets with his offies. Of course, taking 5 wickets yesterday, now with his scores.
Wanting to open up Rahman and open up that offside. They'll pick up 2 with Takada running around. Yeah, he was impressive. We thought the Chargers might get away with Jack Wildermuth yesterday. He ended up removing fellow international player. He had 2 LBW shouts and 2 balls, and the first one was down leg and the second one was an easy decision for Chris Thurgate. Rocks back. That's not the place to bowl to either of those 2. Out in the middle. Rahman's away. His first boundary of the day.
He just black batted that, didn't he? Low projectile, but easily clearing the boundary. It's him underway. Lethal partnership, this one that East Kanto will be glad to see the end of.
Chandaman's first over It only takes 2 bad balls and you cough up 15 in your first. He's just given the chance after the first over, only going for 1, of course. And these two know in the middle, such high caliber, they know that they can almost give the bowling side the first over in the power play and catch up a little bit later. We see Sagai Slater, again, his length was really good in that first over. Just on Brown's hip there and unable to free his arms. Tucking him up just on that leg side. It's a very difficult proposition for anyone at any level of cricket to try and stop Josh Brown when he's at the peak of his powers, of course. I'm talking about one of the most powerful players in world cricket, not just at this level. Little inside edge and wide of that 45. It won't go all the way to the rope. Or will it? It might have just beaten him. I think that will be ruled 4. We'll just await the call. Chris just asking for some clarification. He might have got away with it. Not sure if it tickled the rope or not there. Looks like Chandama at 45. It's been ruled 4. Yeah, so a late call there. But I think the right one.
Yeah, it's a good chase from Chandama, wasn't it? He gave it everything. Put the dive on towards the end, but yeah, just trickling across the rope.
Maybe just tells us that the outfield's a little bit quicker today as well, Garth. Oh, the big swing and miss from Rahman, who did have the opportunity to free his arms. Of course, Isan Rahman has been a late addition to the Japan national side of late. Debuted last October. Interesting story in his own right. Sort of realised he was eligible for Japan. He lived, I think, in Japan till he was 6. Moved to Australia and represented the ACT as well. Good player. Top edge. Chandama drops a difficult chance, but type of chance that you need to take to remove this dangerous opening pair from an East Kanto point of view, Garth.
Yeah, look, he did well scrambling to his left to put himself in position to take that ball, but he made contact with the ground, just spilled out. As you say, the key to take every opportunity possible in moving these two.
Oh, outside edge. Doesn't carry all the way to Ibrahim Takahashi at 3rd. They are the old half chance and nervy moment here. Easy to say, but these could be the game-changing, or final-changing moments where we see the trophy going one way or the other here. This opening power play with 2 dangerous players at the crease. Top edge 4. It's not where Brown wanted to put it, but he won't care a whole lot. That's the over bowl. 26 for no loss. 3 overs in.
Yeah, Isan Rahman, a huge find for Japan, wasn't he? Made a great tour of Oman in terms of that World Cup qualifying at the end of last year. Just missing out on the spot to go to India and try and the T20 World Cup, which was won by India, dominating New Zealand in the final.
There's a grimace in that sentence of yours, Garth. It was a tough one to take that for a Kiwi national like yourself.
Born in Bangladesh, his son, living in Australia now, he's come over for the tournament. He's had quite a number of players.
It's going to be Chandama again here, the left arm orthodox for the 2 right-handers. Again, he hasn't quite got all of it, but he's put it into the bleachers. Immense power, Isan Rahman. It's the third 6 hit off Charnham's bowling already. Looks like we could get a shootout here on SICG1. I thought for a moment he's going to load up. Again, they're so tough, as we said, the margin for error for the spinners here. You do get rewarded if you can hit that spot. There is turn and bounce on the synthetic, but very hard to find that magical spot. It's a risky game, this for Chandamai. Sort of cramping him for room a little bit here, Rahmat. Time takes the one out to deep long off. That's Benjamin Little-Davis there, who we'll see with his off spin a little bit later on, and one of the best fielders in the country as well. Definitely got him in arguably the busiest spot on the ground. Brown shuffling across there, and we'll take the easy single. Race through this over. Chandamar after that 6. No issues of over rates with Anisha Chandamar. He's full-step runner. 2 noises. Half a shout, but
into the over 34 without loss. 2 overs remaining in the power play. As I mentioned, Benjamin Davis, real key member of the Japan national squad, genuine all-rounder. What we see him bowling in the middle overs today alongside Ibi Takahashi. But yeah, it's he's cut off that usual captain Femi. Slight niggle.
Yeah, they do have a plethora of spin options, but as Kendall Katawaki Fleming, by his own admittance yesterday, was with the turf wickets in mind, they've still been able to squeeze out and churn out victories at the tournament and to give themselves a shot at a three-peat here. Very tough proposition here going up against Josh Brown here. Ibrahim Takahashi. High and most importantly long from Josh Brown on the pull shot. Loosener there from Takahashi to begin his spell.
You're just having a look at this on the JPL replay. First delivery from Takahashi. Short and down leg side and well.
Yeah, by Takahashi standards, that is a gift. Brown almost opened himself up to try and hit that short boundary over long off. Gone! A big moment in the final. Little inside edge that's carried all the way out to the circle, and Chandamar this time holds on.
Yeah, you're right, just inside of the bat and good catch, well held from Chandamar. Big wicket, big moment in the final.
After that last ball, pretty clever from Takahashi almost to hone in on those pads again, knowing that Brown wanted to go inside out over cover. Didn't get all of it, and proved to be a smart and good reflex catch from Chandamar. Flew to him to the edge of the circle. Still going up as it got into his hands, and he took it about shoulder height to his left.
Yes, good reactionary catch, wasn't it? Wouldn't have been expecting it. Given the shot. Brown new to the wicket. Sorry, for South Canton Super Kings.
Great moment this for young Wadugate. A lovely cover drive to begin, but straight to Ryuki Ozeki, fellow under-19 international, fellow under-19 World Cup squad member. Great run out yesterday from Ryuki Ozeki. We'll talk about that in a moment. A lot of hype around the Wadugate brothers. Ariash actually in the East Kanto squad as well. And a lot of faith in a young man from captain Saburi Sravichandran, leading run scorer and the wicket taker in JPL history. And sent this young man out at number 3. It tells you everything you need to know about his reputation, despite his age. A great over from Ibrahim Takahashi after being sent to the cleaners first ball. He's come back with a wicket, a total of 5 dot balls.
Yeah, you mentioned Ryuki Ozeki, fellow under-19 teammate of Wadugate. Brilliant run out yesterday. Took the first wicket. Ash Thurgate, the victim. Probably the run was there to be had, but just the pick-up and release for Ozeki was amazing. Very good ground fielders for Japanese. Some coming from a background in baseball, which helps that skill.
Gone. Wickets in successive overs, and Chandamar has found the perfect spot on the SICG synthetic wicket here to remove Japan national team opener.
Yeah, another big moment here. Looks like Isam was just giving himself room to play down to long off. But instead, misses was straight one. Just taken out middle and off. Well, remove the openers. Exactly what the plan would have been for East Kanto.
After watching the Super Kings get away in overs 2, 3 and 4, the last 2 overs of the power play thus far have gone to the defending champions. Tell you what, Wadugate was a little bit slow out of the blocks there. And Ravi Chandran's brought himself out at number 4.
Just realised a couple of technical issues there. Perhaps you wouldn't be picking up my voice, but my fellow commentator Daniel Beswick hasn't been talking to himself. But morning viewers. Big final, big day here of cricket, Sano International Cricket Ground.
Flashy off try, but straight to Shogo Kimura at mid-off, who played a pivotal role in the Sunrisers getting into the final with victory yesterday. Great knock off his bat, we'll talk about in a moment. unbeaten, 60 plus, well measured alongside Ibrahim Takahashi at the other end. Chase down the score in the penultimate over. Oh, just short of Takada at mid-on. In the end, he keeps it just to 1. Good recovery there from Takada after the slight misfield. Very tricky one to pick up cleanly.
Yeah, 1 ball remaining in the power play. Currently 42 on the board, 2 wickets down. And completes the over as Chandamar. So, power play done. 42 for 2. Both openers back in the shed. Sabaris Ravichandran, the captain for South Kanto Super Kings, has arrived at the wicket. And what a record he has in cricket for Japan. Just looking at the all-time leaders in terms of batting in the JPL, it's Sabaris Ravichandran, over 1,000 runs in this tournament. He also sits atop of the most wickets taken, 71 wickets. This, of course, being Japan Premier League edition number 11. He's probably been a part of all 11 tournaments as Sabo. And sits second on the ladder of fielding behind Makoto Taniyama, his national teammate. So, if we think about his Japan performances, Sabaris also having played over 50 matches for his country.
Benjamin Ito-Davis in to the attack for the first time. Takada busy in the field. Benjamin Ito-Davis, as we mentioned, key player, quite achiever. Don't get a lot. Very talkative young fella, but he's not the most aggressive on the field. One of the nicer human beings you'll probably meet in Japanese cricket as well. He always manages to get the job done, whether it be in Sunrisers or Japan colours. Is a real asset to the team and the setup. Also travelled with the team at the Under-19 World Cup. Does a little bit of the social media and the media side of things for the side as well. Good player to have and a good person to have around your group from a 19's point of view as well. Sets a good example. Fit as well, as we mentioned before, probably one of the better fielders in the country too, if not the best. A little inside edge, I believe, there from Ravichandran. I'm not going to take on Chandamar's left arm. Fielding, as a general rule, particularly ground fielding, is of a really good standard in the country at the moment. Has he picked out Basisto? He has. He's taken on the short boundary and lost Watergate. And Basisto, standing captain, has placed himself to perfection at mid-wicket.
Yeah, simple catch for Basisto, wasn't it? And, well, first wicket for Benjamin Ito-Davis today. And Ariane Watergate has to make his way back to the 10. As expected, Benjamin Ito-Davis to come on after that power play has been completed. Will probably bowl through these middle overs with Ibi Takahashi. Did such a good job of it yesterday on ground number 2. Ito-Davis now having played 24 matches for his country, making his debut in 2024. Resides in Japan, in Chiba. Plays for the Chiba Sharks. Traditionally strong club here in Japan. And fellow teammate, Japan national teammate Charlie Harahins arrives at the wicket. What is really a
great delivery from Mitchell Davis first up, not giving his international teammate an inch here. Charlie Harahins, I haven't seen a whole lot of the Super Kings so far this tournament because they've been on SICG number 2. He's played a bit more of a role with the ball, Harahins, this tournament thus far. Maybe just trying to manufacture a sweep for a ball a little bit too short there. Player of the tournament in the Under-19 World Cup qualification campaign on this very ground. Highly touted individual. Tito Davis here, who's tying his teammate up. Another great over for the spinners of the Sunrisers as they look to keep the foot down. 44 for 3 now. And Super Kings just losing their grip on this one. 7 overs in. Prolific overs 2, 3 and 4, but I'm going to say Garth, East Kanto probably won 4 out of the 7 overs thus far. They've got themselves ahead in this one.
Yeah, the last couple of matches we saw power play scores being posted around 70. 80 I think was the highest, set by North Kanto. But this is finals cricket. Adds to the pressure. Looks like Will Bosisto's brought himself off. Probably captaining the side, isn't he? It will be without Fleming in the team. Loved his appeals yesterday on ground number 2.
Yeah, he turned in a player of the match performance in the end with both ball and bat. He ended up taking 5 for, cleaned up the tail and kept Kansai to a score of around 8 and over. And at one point they were looking like going at potentially 180 to 200. And got Jack Wildermuth out as well. LBW just tied him up, caught him on the crease, and then with the bat opening, he hit 3 consecutive reverse sweep sixes. Sight to behold. Now leading the team today. Oh, he's taken him on. He hasn't got it past him. He's surely run himself out, Harahins. And the pressure maybe of last over counting. Bosisto, cool and calm as well, picked it up. A simple throw into the keeper.
Yeah, Bosisto did well here, didn't he? Collected it in one hand, turned, and what a throw.
Charlie Harahins thought he knocked it past the bowler. Probably forgot who was up the other end, fetching it. And that's what that extra level of experience brings. Bosisto knows how far Harahins has come down there. And it's a tough sort of run out to execute. You've got to turn and spin and throw to your target, but he just knew he had an extra split second to provide a nice base for himself and complete what was a pretty simple throw to Gimire behind the stumps.
Yeah, Gilmire with the gloves on for East Kanto, and they're digging themselves a bit of a hole here. By no means, sorry, part of the plan for South Kanto.
Yeah, not too sure if it was maybe on Ravichandran to be a little bit more assertive in the no shout at the other end, knowing that that ball hadn't got past Bosisto, but Charlie Harahins went so early. It's the match awareness there, a little lacking. And what that run out does for a new batter to come in, just plants a seed of doubt. You don't want to give up another run out. Dylan Fujioka-Fletcher now on strike.
Yeah, well, it's the 3rd consecutive over where a wicket's fallen, hasn't it? They've gone from 40 for 1 after 5 overs for 45 for 4. Just need to re-establish a partnership here to South Kanto.
Basisto like a hawk in on that one as well. Again, yeah, a little nervy in that camp now from a South Canto point of view. You've given up a run out as well. The last thing you want to do is compound your error with another one. Basisto on the mark again. Giving no quarter, whether it be at the bowling crease or with the ball in play in the field. The dot ball starting to mount up for South Canto. 45 for 4.
Dylan Fujioka Fletcher and brother Shima Fujioka Fletcher over for the tournament from New Zealand. Dylan himself in year 4, I believe, of his studies in Otago University, studying medicine. Smart cookie. Not easy to get into that university to study medicine, but look, still a youngster though, perhaps, age of 21, but alongside the experience of Sabarish Ravichandran, and no better person for South Canto to have out there. They'll be just reassessing the score, perhaps. Be quite happy just to be a bit reserved over these next 4 or 5 over block. Can ill afford another wicket or 2 here.
And again, just that run out in the previous over has led to a little indecisiveness in the run in between wickets here. This time they take on Chandama, a little too wide of the left hand, who has to scoot across and go into the bowler. Big week or two coming up in international cricket, of course, with the East Asia Pacific T20 World Cup qualifiers for the 2028 edition of the tournament to be held in Australia and New Zealand. Japan in the mix as one of the favourites of that tournament as well.
Just a slight delay will come into effect here with a ball from ground number 2 coming onto the ground, just out of picture. But yeah, huge week of cricket, or 2 weeks of cricket coming up for Japan, and the
top edge should be easy. Ryuki Ozeki, safe hands. Wicket number 5. Fujioka Fletcher departs. And the East Kanto Sunrisers juggernaut rolls on.
Yeah, look, he was just trying to work this onto the onside, wasn't he, Fujioka Fletcher? Wasn't trying to overhit her or anything, but takes a leading edge, and what is a simple catch for Ozeki. Half the side back in the 10. Brilliant start from East Kanto.
We've lost 4 for 6. The Super Kings, they were 40 for none at the start of the 6th over when Ibi Takahashi was hit for 6 first ball by Josh Brown. And they've gone on to lose 4 wickets inside 5 overs. And Sabarish Ravichandran at the other end has just watched the chaos and carnage unfold from the non-strikers end. He's only faced 6 balls in the midst of all of this, and the captain now has realised that he's probably going to have to shoulder all of the responsibility.
Yeah, certainly will play an effect on how he navigates his innings here, isn't it? You probably want to bat through most of the overs if possible.
5 for 6, I should say, a collapse. We've lost a wicket in every over since the 6th over, and early in the over as well. Buvith Kulal, who came to the Super Kings and was a saver of the Super Kings in their win over West Kanto as player of the match with a 52 not out of 26 balls. He's going to need all of that today again.
Yeah, another Chiba Shark player. So he'll know Benjamin Ethel Davis relatively well. Both teammates, of course, for Chiba Sharks. Well represented in the tournament across all teams. Nine overs done, 48 for 5, South Kanto. Just while I've got the chance, I will update you on third, fourth playoff on ground number 2 if North Kanto Lions batting, having lost the toss and been put into bat. Currently 7 overs gone there, 99 for 1. Nikhil Pole's 50, he's 53 not out, alongside Gufran Mir, who's on 18.
Resisto again as they try and tighten the screws with finger spin. And just hit that length so well, this bowling pair. Resisto in a mood to get into this over quickly as well, racing back to his mark. They take on third man. Win the battle on this occasion. Yeah, Bazisto, immense experience and good leadership experience as well. He was an under-19 world captain in his own right, of course, with Australia back in 2012. That was a home tournament for the Aussies in Queensland. WA boy by birth, and many will remember from the Australian domestic circles, he was part of that Cricket Australia 11 program when the Australian domestic system tried to go to 7 teams with the CA 11 trying to blood the next generation of players who couldn't quite pick up state contracts around the country. Again, just honing in on that top of off stump. He and Hugo Tani Kelly, of course, the only 2 players to boast 200 plus averages at under 19 World Cups as well. I'm going to get a delay here with the ball on the ground from the other game. Yeah, it was the 19's captain. They made it to the final. They lost to India in that one in 2012. The opposition captain was certain Unmuk Chand, who actually went on to play BBL cricket, MLC as well. Just losing his line there, but not punished, just with the pressure on now from a South Kanto Super Kings point of view. And this is what they've been able to do, Garth. Just been able to strangle them a little bit. Racing through this over. Real journeyman. Bazisto's played in the Bangladesh Premier League, played in the Nepal Premier League as well. The perfect man to have in this spot, in spite of young Kendall Karawaki Fleming going down injured. He's your regular captain. Ravi Chandran, meanwhile, muscles one out into the leg side for a single. Able to break the shackles here. Long time since the last boundary as we get to the halfway stage. 50 for 5. You've got to go all the way back to that Takahashi 6 that he leaked against Josh Brown, the ball before the wicket that he took. So almost 6 whole overs since a boundary has been scored, Garth Thomas.
Yeah, brilliant piece of cricket just been exhibited on ground number 2. What looked to be 6 runs was caught in mid-air and thrown back in field, the batsman only completing 1.
Top edge. Ito Davis running back. And I would have told you that he would be the safest man under that ball. It was a tough one, swirling wind running back. If I was a betting man, I would have Had my cash on it. Davis holding on to that. In the end, he's put it down. Tough one.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed with that. With his standards set quite high. We don't often, as you mentioned earlier, Benjamin Ito Davis, one of the top fielders for the Japan national team. You could add Yamamoto Lake to that list.
See if that missed chance cost them. Was Ravi Chandran the key man now? Super Kings batting point of view. That's a well-run single into the offside. Muscled. Should just be one though. Well covered field. That long off is actually more of a cover, just protecting the really short boundary there as you see the two fields adjacent to each other.
Eleven overs done here at Sano International Cricket Ground. South Kanto Super Kings just been strangled here. 55 for 5. Spin through Chandama, Bosisto, Takahashi and Ito Davis. Really doing the damage here, and you can see the effects. Stark contrast to ground too. They've had similar number of overs been bowled. In fact, they're only in the 9th over there, but 130 on the board already from North Kanto. So, finals cricket. East Kanto continuing to just heap pressure on South Kanto. As you say, we do have Sabaris Ravichandran. He's been in this position numerous times. Can he guide his team through to a score that they can defend? I'm guessing that's around 130, 140 at least. We've talked about past score, 170 probably been at that mark. So be interesting to know what Sabo has, what sort of figure he has in mind, Daniel. Played out to point, but the run rate, below 5 at the moment. Do you bat conservatively and be happy with 120, 130, or you continue to take risks? We'll see over the remaining 8 and a bit overs. Playing a miss here.
Just been told by Alan Kerr on the other ground that Nikhil Pal hit 5 consecutive sixes. Hit hard, straight to Ryuki Ozeki, and then for 6 in a row he was actually caught on the boundary, but the ball had to be thrown back in because it was going over. Field couldn't quite keep his body in field of play. That might have been the one that we had seen a few moments ago. Easy single there for Ravi Chandran. You mentioned it before, run rate's just gone below 5, for 5. Interesting question or proposition for Ravi Chandran, who is out in the middle now and he's trying to manufacture a defendable score after, when you lose 5 wickets in 5 overs, it's always going to leave a massive dent in your batting effort. In Ravichandran's head now, he's got to somehow work out what he and the tail can realistically score in the last 8 overs to even give themselves a chance. I do know that East Kanto are arguably a batter light with the absence of Campbell Katawaki Fleming. It's going to be Ethel Davis to bowl his 4 out consecutively.
Yeah, even without the brilliance of Katawaki Fleming, they still bat deep, don't they, East Kanto? Looking down the list. I'll just wait for this next ball from Ethel Davis. The batting East Kanto have opening probably will be Abhishek Anand and of course Will Bautista. Other than that, they do have the likes of Ibi Takahashi. Takada Kimura had played a brilliant innings yesterday.
Vital runs. This might be a long-awaited boundary. Tough one to chase down and a bridge too far in the end for Chandama. It's a long-awaited boundary. Got to go all the way back to the 6th over since the last one. Ravichandran into double figures.
And of course, other than those specialist batsmen, you've got the all-rounders and Benjamin Ethel Davis and Ibi Takahashi. So a bit of bounce there from Ethel Davis. Just somewhat surprised Ravichandran. Inside edge, just a slight misfield, and that'll cause an extra run. A slight delay, I think originally ruled as runs, but
ball on from the other field as well. Just, hence the little delays. You can see Benjamin Ethel Davis actually running back to hand the ball over to the West Kanto fielder.
Yeah, given buys that previous ball.
Another one for Ravichandran. Bazisto, plenty of encouragement for his fellow off-spinner as well. Another good over from Benjamin Ethel Davis, who finishes off a great spell. 4 overs unchanged, 2 for 16. Every ounce of international experience on show there from the spin bowling all-rounder. It's just a case of them keeping the pressure on, being able to bring on Ibrahim Takahashi for a second consecutive over at the other end, Garth.
Yeah, current run rate bang on 5. Give them a score around 100, whether they can capitalise and getting that up a little bit higher, but just shows you. 4 consecutive overs, was it, where they lost wickets. Just trying to dig themselves out of a massive hole, South Kanto. Maybe Takahashi coming in from the school end here, and what is a beautiful day in Sano. Expected to get up to 22 degrees.
Another well-run single. Screen he may have heard. Wicket from the other ground. Mikazeki just being brought a little bit further inside the square. Maybe trying a little bit too much there, Kalal, to manufacture a shot into the short boundary. Back foot to a half volley almost on that occasion.
Yeah, huge contrast in game scores. Ground number 2, Gufran Mir just lost his wicket, but they've got 155 on the board just in the 11th over there.
You feel for their over 8 over there. They've been too busy fetching balls out of the bush. A bit different over here on ground number 1. Another play and miss. He'd be firing them through now. Notice they've gone back to the physical scoreboard here instead of the electronic one. Maybe just with the wind about. Does well to dig that out to deep point, but it should just be one to end the over. So have that at 68 for 5. Maybe Takahashi 1 for 11 off his 3 overs.
Yeah, given the dominance here from East Kanto, they're still happy to keep 5 on the boundary. Quite happy to give away just the singles or twos to South Kanto. They really are in control of this match. Captain Karawaki Fleming will be sitting in the tent, quite happy with how proceedings are going.
Yeah, worth reiterating this tournament, due to the poor weather we had in the build-up to the event, the decision was made to essentially move every game to the synthetic surfaces. There's no point risking ruining the square earlier in the tournament, and then of course with a big carnival of cricket to come in the coming weeks. Ravi Chandran just out to cover for no run.
Shima Fujioka Fletcher into the attack. His first over from Malkarasawa end. And I believe his final year of high school in Hamilton, New Zealand.
Ravi Chandran manufactures the one. It's a lovely spot, that part of the world. Been lucky enough to be on the North Island a couple of times, and Tauranga is a favourite. I believe they're from they're from Tauranga as well, so
yeah,
not too far from Hamilton, but about a 90-minute drive.
Yeah, I believe Shima is boarding at St Paul's, the school he's at.
Kalal attempts the scoop to no avail.
Of course. Former school of Daniel Vittori.
A shout from Bazisto, wanting no twos conceded on the leg side. It's a big boundary on that side, of course, with us on the far end of the square. Big play and miss with Fujioka Fletcher. Taking on maybe the harder pockets of the ground to defend. Though when you're that wide and short, not really going to find yourself going over cover, are you? Interesting look at the dimensions as you watch on screen here over the bowler's shoulder. Cover is an extremely short boundary with us on the other side of the square. They take on the short boundary. Bazisto is running back from the circle and holds on inside the rope. So the temptation to find the short boundary brings about Kalal's downfall.
Yeah, as you say, he was looking to target that short boundary, just skewed out of the outside of the bat, and comfortable catch taken from Will. Wicket number 6 to fall And Sabarish Ravichandran, as you said earlier, is just watching the chaos continue.
He's got probably the last recognised batter walking out now in the form of Marcus Thurgate, who, with all the hype and hula of the last Under-19 World Cup class, can go back to 2020, and it was this man who was captaining the Under-19 men at a World Cup himself in 2020. He's got his dad umpiring at the other end as well, which might be an interesting little side plot if he was to be wrapped on the pads, but it's now or never for the Super Kings with these two out there. And smart captaincy from Basisto. He knows on that short boundary he might as well keep himself inside the circle, because you're not going to be able to protect that on the boundary anyway. Keep the men in the deep on the leg side. And that one from Kalal got absolutely none of it, in fairness, and running back inside the circle. Pretty smart catch from the overseas man. And Fritjoka Fletcher, who's only been given the ball now, doing a stellar job. And a chance again. Underneath it is the fielder who, look, to be as kind as possible. There's some swirling wind out on Sano International Cricket Ground, but I've got to say, didn't look anywhere near that, in fairness.
Yeah, look, I don't think he got himself into position well enough, but I have to say I don't think his hands touched the ball when it came down. Gets to live a life, does Thurgate, a name synonymous in Japan cricket. Of course, with brother Ash, who was also a part of that 220 World Cup squad in South Africa. And father Chris. All very proud Chiba Shark fans, supporters, players. I do believe, Chris, we will see in a match tomorrow, of which co-commentator Daniel Beswick will be playing as well. I'd love to be able to bring that match to you live on YouTube.
Really immersing myself in the Japanese cricket experience. I think that's my thinking behind it. As we see Basisto back for some better cricket out here at JPL final. Top edge, running around, holds on this time. I think it might be the same fielder, young Arias Wadago. I'll just get double check on the number on his back, but holds on this time. And that brings about the end of Marcus Thurgate, the last recognised batter gone.
Yeah, 7 down now, as you say, the last recognised batsman for South Kanto. It'll be interesting to see how Sabarish Ravichandran navigates his final 5 overs. Whether he starts to play him shots himself or just happy to see through to the 20 over mark. East Kanto Sunrisers well on top here. Of course, the defending champions, winning the final here on ground number 1 last year over Kansai Chargers. A win here will see them take their 5th title. Both teams on screen have 4 titles apiece, so they'll certainly have bragging rights should they get up today. Kifa Yamamoto Lake comes to the wicket, and shouldn't really say the last recognised batsman has disappeared, because Kifa himself can definitely hold a bat.
Ravichandran tries to muscle one into the leg side boundary. You'll only get one for his troubles. He's struggled to keep the strike, Ravichandran, and you feel like the effects of everything happening at the other end has almost affected his rhythm a little bit as well. Probably quite seen the power and shot selection that we're so accustomed to seeing with him as well. It'd be a frustrating morning for him, having watched his partners fall perilously at the other end. Resisto, meanwhile, has been tight. Ravichandran shouts early for the single.
Yeah, you're right. He came in at number 4 to Savarish, and that was in the 5th over, of course. Since then, he's only faced 29 balls. And, risky run, but in the end safe for Kiefer Yamamoto Lake. Calls his partner through, so took on the danger himself. But a try at the stumps, a direct hit, surely would have been short. Fresh off a season of cricket from Perth, Australia's Kiefer, alongside brother Lachlan, of course. Plays this down to long on. Coming back for the second is Ravichandran, but they go to the striker's end. Comfortably home, end of the over. .77 on the board now, and just the 4 overs remaining.
Confident call that, wasn't it, from Ravichandran? Knew exactly what he wanted to do. Doesn't get the strike. Sorry, does get the strike to begin this over. Might just be now being the time for him to go a late flurry. Looks like we're going to get young Ariash Wadagay into the attack. Interesting move. This one. Basisto just wanting to keep maybe the finger spin in, maybe over the fast bowling of Shama Sagaya Slater. Looking to continue to take the pace off. Just works so well from them, or for them, I should say. Basically from the 6th over onwards. Ravichandran on misfield, he'll get 1 in the end. Well set field by Basisto. I think, since if we go back to the 6th over, since then, they've only bowled the 1 over of pace, and that was that Shima Fujioka Fletcher over that only went for 2 runs in its own right. So, more than happy to keep to the MO of spin. Ariash Wadagay, real youngster. A lot of raps on both of the Wadagay brothers. Yamamoto Lake out to cover. Again, just 1. Not short of brothers in Japanese cricket, are we?
No.
As we discussed with Kendall a couple of days ago. That's well struck. And in the end, an incredible piece of fielding to keep it to what should just be 2. Not sure who it is all the way out there at deep point. It might be Shima Fujioka Fletcher. He's done well. He didn't have a whole lot of time. And can't capitalise. Ravichandran maybe trying to hit the ball a tad too hard. Knowing he's been under pressure basically this entire innings. In the end, he's tried to muscle this one to the short boundary, but we can only get 1 Basisto there. On the charge. This will take some stopping. In the deep, the two men running around won't get there.
Yeah, brilliant shot from Yamamoto Lake. This one pierced the gap. Quick outfield. I want to say the outfield's probably quickened up over the past couple of days with this good weather we've had. Heavily protected long on and mid-wicket. Just trying to protect that short and boundary, but he goes the other side, does Kiefer Yamamoto Lake. Brilliant shot and a much-needed boundary for the team.
Biggest over that they've had in a while. Super Kings looking back.
Just 18 balls remaining for the innings. And Yamamoto Lake and Ravichandran just having a meeting mid-wicket.
It's the biggest over they've had since the fourth over of the innings. That tells you everything you need to know about this batting collapse. Takahashi. Scoop will not end up being the greatest result. They'll get one. At least it brings an extra run to the board. It just forces the question for Basisto, of course, with a left-right combination.
As soon as he made the movement, Sabarish Basisto was on the move, wasn't he? Smart cricket. Realising what Ravichandran was trying to do.
It's that extra. We talk about athletes having that extra time when they're at that next level, don't we? They're able to see the game a little bit quicker than others. Well struck. And it will go over the rope. Did well to turn that into a slog sweep. Long legs, Yamamoto Lake, to turn that into a half volley and off the middle of his bat. It's a long boundary out there too.
Yeah, one of his strengths of his game, that mid-wicket region. But he picked it up beautifully. Wonderful shot. Just creeping towards that three-figure sum of 100.
The last time Takahashi conceded a 6, he then picked up a wicket next ball. In the end, tried to fire that one into Yamamoto Lake's pegs. Unable to pick up a wicket on that occasion. Off the middle of his bat. It's well hit over the top of the bowler and can't place a fielder in that part of the ground. Good little flurry this, Garth.
Yeah, brilliant. Much needed flurry too from South Gunto. Smart cricket from Keitha.
He tries to go one more time. Fielder running around. In the end, does really well, Shogo Kimura, to prevent a boundary. Yamamoto Lake trying to repeat the dose down the track. Big over this one. One ball left in it.
He is going at over 200 at the moment as Kiefer Yamamoto Lake. Much needed surge towards the end here for the team. 21 runs coming from just 10 balls. He'll be looking to continue.
Gone for 6. A massive over for the Super Kings, looking to scratch and claw their way back in the JPL 11 final.
Brilliant, brilliant shot from Yamamoto Lake. Using those long levers of his just to pick it up and deposit of what probably landed 10 metres over the boundary rope. His strike rate just short of 250 now. Can they keep going on these remaining 12 balls? 105 for 7, 18 gone. A choice to make for Will Bastisto as to who bowls these remaining 2 overs. Looks like one of them will be of Sholma Sugaya Slater, also out of Perth. So we'll know the Yamamoto Lake family, of course. Don't believe they're at the same club. Stand to be corrected on that.
And now it's Ravichandran in on the act. He might not have got enough though. But Takada puts the chance down. They'll run it 2. We do get a little bit of assistance with the wind hitting to that part of the ground. It's not completely with the wind. It is a long boundary, as you mentioned. It's got to be close to 70 metres out there with that circle. 30-yard circle being almost at the end of the square. A life for Ravichandran. He should pick up a leg by.
Yeah, to be in the back of the mind of Sugaya Slater not to get too wide on the offside, letting the South Kanto batsman take advantage of the short boundary.
Yeah, that 19 runs off that last over, Garth, is the biggest of the innings thus far. Even when SM Raman and Josh Brown were looking to build into their days. Big swing and a miss. There's a lot of leverage in Keith Yamamoto Lake's batting. High grip. Your tall fellow. What some of the punters around the game like to call long levers as well. You've got a large wingspan. Keith Yamamoto Lake. Of course, his brother as well, well-renowned batter in the region as well. Could well see both of them, in fact, in Japanese colours come a week from now. Both on the, at least on the fringes of the Japan national team squad. Again, another swing and a miss. Sugaya Slater, fellow West Australian. Tempting him with some width, but some good bowling to the field set. Being able to use that longer boundary. On the offside to the left-hander. Great shot. Again over the bowler's head. Impossible to set a field. Maybe a fraction too straight from Sugaya Slater, but Yamamoto Lake pounced on the opportunity.
Yeah, he's turning it on, isn't he, Kiefer? Another wonderful shot. Just smacked straight.
That's a good comeback from Sugaya Slater as well. Just pushing across the left-hander. Top ball to end the penultimate over. 1-1-2 for 7. If they can scratch and claw their way to 130, at least gives them something to defend. Obviously going to be a really difficult task against what is a strong batting lineup, although they are missing, of course, their inspirational leader, Japan international captain Kendall Karawaki Fleming. But yeah, just looking through that list, there's plenty of power elsewhere, of course. They do bat quite deep, and we saw even someone of Shogo Kimura's ilk played a very mature knock yesterday alongside Ibi Takahashi to get them home. It's going to be Bazisto to bowl the last.
He's not going to die wondering here. Ravichandran, who are looking to maximise every ball. Stand-in captain Will Bastisto taking it on himself to bowl this final over.
To re-bowl that first one too. Wide signal by Sagi Parker. 6. Launched. Goodbye. Ravichandran finally gets the opportunity to really free his arms, and it's probably the shot of the innings.
Yeah, just having a look on the JPL replay here. Just clearing that front leg and lifting it high and long into over the stand here at Sano International Cricket Ground, into the greenery that runs alongside the river here.
Dougal Bedingfield running out. Hand the umpires a new ball. I dare say they won't be unveiling a newish ball as we find ourselves 5 balls away from the end of the innings.
Yeah, can they push? Can they get above that 130, who knows, 135 mark? 7 already off the first delivery, the first one being wide, of course.
The shout is 2 from Ravichandran, but Yamamoto Lake was a little bit slow out of the blocks, more because that ball was close to him at the non-strikers being struck.
50 partnership up for these two. They came together at 70 for 7.
Great mini fight back this. Ravichandran mature at the other end. I know it'd be a very frustrating day for him watching on, but he's had a partner who's been able to squeeze out some vital runs and at least give them a score to make the Sunrisers think. Down the leg side, I believe. We'll just await the call from umpire Parker. And it is a wide, so another one to the total. Another one to be re-bowled. Still 4 balls left in this over, final over. Man running around is Takada. Also Benjamin Ito-Davis, they'll skip through for 2. Thought he got a little bit more of that on that occasion, Ravichandran, but it was probably better that he didn't, given that it squeezed into an open pocket of the ground. 3 balls remaining in the innings. What can South Kanto put on the board? Should just be 1. Well set field from Bazisto. Just taking the length, pulling the length back a tad. Takada running around. I'll await the signal. I think it's 6.
It is maximum 6 for Yamamoto Lake, and what continues to be a brilliant innings from him, adding real emphasis to this score. As I say, picking the perfect spot straight, not too many gaps out mid-wicket, square leg region.
One more time, last ball. Man running in is Kumara. Holds on to the catch. So an 8th wicket falls, the last ball of the innings. 1-3-1 for 8, the score. And what looked to have been a potential disaster for the Super Kings at 77 for 7 after 16 overs, they've been able to post 1-3-1. And while they're still probably behind in the game, maybe just a couple of psychological blows against their opponents. Runs on the board in the final. The old adage, you never know, Garth Thomas, but I think deep down, the East Kanto Sunrisers will be the happier of the two as they walk off the ground.
Yeah, fair comment, Daniel. But nice little flurry at the end from South Kanto, and just we saw walking off, Sabarish patting his partner Keitha Yamamoto Lake on the head. Just appreciate the innings and contribution he made. Really, they dug a huge hole for themselves, did South Kanto, going from 40 for 1 in the 4th over, 46 for 5 in the 8th. That, as I talked about, that flurry at the end from Ravichandran and Yamamoto Lake, they came together at 70 for 7, put on another 60 runs to finish at 131 for 8. We'll take a 10-minute break. Be back with you then.
players and umpires walking out for the final time at JPL 11. And the scenario for the back-to-back champions looking for a three-peat is 132 runs in 20 overs. Welcome to the Sarno International Cricket Ground, number one for the JPL 11 final. East Kanto Sunrisers looking to brush aside the South Kanto Super Kings, who, despite a lull in their batting innings, at least hit back with 54 from the last 4 overs to post 131. And Garth Thomas, runs on the board in the final is always the adage, but might not just be enough against an East Kanto Sunrisers team who have done it many times before.
Yeah, the South Kanto team losing 7 for 30 in that, from going from 40 for 1 to 70 for 7, really dug themselves a massive hole. Somewhat eased with the 61 partnership from Yamamoto Lake and Ravichandran at the end. Got them up to something they can aim to defend. Anyway.
Full bunga to begin the second innings. As we see Will Basisto taking responsibility. The opening bat alongside Japan international opener Abhishek Anand as well. It's Gurman Singh opening the bowling for the Super Kings. Took 2 for 11 against the Kansai Chargers early in the tournament. Oh, Basisto wanted one. I don't think there was one there. Straight to the Super Kings captain, Ravichandran. We saw what a disastrous run-out can do to a team in the first innings. The last thing the Sunrisers would want was to be giving them an opportunity back into this one. Again, straight to Ravichandran. Good start here for Gurman Singh.
Yeah, they need to start well, South Kanto, if they're to defend this under par score of 131. Dearly love to chip out this top order in the first 4 or 5 overs.
Full toss, but probably the spot to miss as we see the outfielder running across, keeping that to 2.
Two of the traditional powerhouses in JPL, each team having won 4 championship titles. One will be able to claim a 5th in about an hour and a half's time.
Oh, outside half of the bat. Basisto survives and he'll pick up 4. A little streaky, not that the Sunrise will mind too much.
Yeah, streaky's the word, looking to play this through the covers, as you say. Took the outside edge, raced across the outfield, and what has quickened up over the past couple of days. Always traditionally has been a quick outfield here at Sarno.
Good Yorker from Gurman Singh to man it mid-off. Fortunately, with the total that they've put on, the Sunrisers, without too little fuss, ahead on run rate, 7 off to begin their first over. That's the beauty of winning the toss and electing to bowl, and then for, let's say, 70% of the innings, the Sunrisers were on top. It's meant that they now have the ability to calculate this chase.
Yeah, 5 of the previous matches of the tournament have resulted in 4 wins to the chasing team. Train South Kanto would dearly love to stop. Looks like Yamamoto Lake, the hero with the bat for his team in the first innings.
Yeah, maybe looking to bring that confidence over from the batting innings into the bowling effort. Key for Yamamoto Lake, another fast bowler and another young player of immense talent and promise.
Yeah, he finished with 37 runs just from 17 balls. A strike rate over 200. It was a much needed flurry at the end for South Kanto.
A little mix up. Dot ball. Yeah, we've seen Kiefer capped at T20I level as well. He made his debut actually against Mongolia, that home series that they had here almost 2 years ago to the day. His debut, May 7, 2024. Been on a couple of different tours, just back from that quad series in Thailand as well. This time they do scurry through for 1. Abhishek Anand backing up at the non-strikers end well.
Yeah, outside of cricket, very talented volleyball player is Kiefer Yamamoto Lake. I believe he has represented his state. The last few years, he's focusing on his cricket. We talked about his long levers. You can see him making use of that skill set in volleyball, can't you?
Yeah. High on the bat. In the end, they turned down the chance of taking 3 men behind square on the offside. We suggest to you that Yamamoto Lake is one of the sharper quick bowlers in the competition. You have to slip in with Isam Rahman as well. Aggressive this. Ravichandran knows that he hasn't got a whole lot of runs to play with, of course. This one being patted straight back to the bowler, no chance of taking it. Single there. There's probably maybe one bugbear to Abhishek Anand's game is sometimes it's a bit of a case of feast or famine. He likes to hit the ball hard, but it ends up being either boundary or dot. Maybe the turning of the strike over, something that he can improve in his game. No half measures with Abhishek Anand. He's had a reasonably good start to his international career in his own right. Happy just to leave that alone. This is the beauty of having a smaller total to chase town, Garth. It can almost hand a couple of overs back to the bowling side in order to get your eye in. It's the price you're willing to kind of pay. Great shot. In the end, it flies over the rope for 6. It's a short boundary, but that's the power that Abhishek Anand has when he finds the middle of his bat. Great way to end the over. 16 for no loss. 14 for no loss, I should say.
Yeah, targeting that short boundary here, but he struck it well, didn't he? Just eased onto his back foot and just muscled it over. Deep cover. After having a good look earlier on, as you say, chasing a small total, it affords the batting team, the chasing team, just to take their time, assess the wicket and conditions. Wasn't a bad ball from Yamamoto Lake. What was a pretty good over from him.
Gurman again. Right in the block hole. Just almost turning that into a half volley, but straight to Ravi Chandran. That's all you need from Abhishek Anand's point of view at the non-striker's end now. Giving up 3 dot balls on the trot, but that one ball you can work your way over for 6 to keep the run rate going. That's the line and length. Good start this from Gurman Singh, unperturbed, bowling against a fine player in Will Basisto and international player at the other end. Ravi Chandran sticking to his guns with a tight offside field. He's kept SM Raman at slip. Knows he needs an early breakthrough if they are going to make any headway in defending 1-3-1. I'm just happy to give that one back to the bowler. No need to panic here from the Sunrisers' point of view, Garth.
Yeah, they've been given that luxury, haven't they? Their bowler's doing a good job in the first innings.
You can see on screen that hybrid wicket, a couple of wickets over. Should just be one. Well played by Basisto. Gurman getting a hand to it. We're not too sure for the East Asia Pacific sub-regional qualifier what wicket of the turf wickets will actually play on. They are preparing to almost get all of them ready. Are permitted now to play on hybrid surfaces. It's been a recent change over the last few years. Full toss, 4 runs. Gurman missing his line on that occasion. And Abhishek Anand, nice little sweep shot off the quick bowler almost this one.
Yeah, just having a look on the JPL replay of this shot. You wouldn't want to have missed it. Would have been caught dead in front, but middles the ball as it races away to the boundary. Yeah, of course, we'll see the hybrid wicket being used in the new ground, Nishin Nagoya.
That stacked offside field being worked again. Yeah, exciting times with that new ground, of course, in Aichi Prefecture. End of the over. 19 for no loss. Of course, this event, or the upcoming EAP qualifier, is being used as a test event for the Asian Games a little bit later in the year in September, where Japan will host the likes of Japan, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, of course, in that Asian Games. Special moment for Japan, but talking to members of the JCA, the conversation, one of the biggest, I suppose, goals for the JCA is to ensure that that ground stays in use year upon year, as we see Yamamoto Lake back in again. Down the leg side, he'll have to re-bowl that one. The talk is that they'll get roughly a dozen days of the year where they get to use that ground down in Nagoya, which is, well, it's about I believe it's actually quite a lengthy trip on the bus from here, 6 or 7 hours. You're kind of hoping you can get on the Shinkansen instead.
Yeah, the beauty of the Shinkansen bullet trains here in Japan.
Oh, tight single, but well calculated in the end by Basisto. We saw Basisto effect a run out off his own bowling earlier today, in not too different circumstances to that one. He just ensured while he's been batting, he can take that one. Again, Abhishek Anand unable just to work that into an open nook of the infield. Does have all the shots, Abhishek Anand. Play a big part in their qualification campaign in a week or two. Taken. That's a great catch down the leg side. A big edge. Waited for the finger to go up to walk, but Marcus Thurgate outstretched to his left.
Yeah, brilliant catch, wasn't it, from Thurgate? Saw the ball angling down towards leg, so made movement early. But a great take, as you say. Waited for the finger to go up from the umpire, but it certainly was bat. Nothing else near it. And a good
deflection.
Huge deflection, wasn't it? And a big breakthrough. Can this be the start of a momentum? Can they chip out 2 or 3 more? Defending only 131 runs. So from the start of the innings, the run rate required would have been 6.5.
Tough one for the keeper. As you can see on screen there, that sort of part of the ground has had a lot of traffic and it, not in the greatest nick, it must be said, but Marcus Thurgate got across and covered a lot of ground down the leg side. It's a bit of a freebie that for the Super Kings. They'll be taking them any way they can get them, of course. And it was Chris Thurgate raising his finger to confirm the dismissal of a catch taken by his son with the gloves in hand. So a little complication for East Kanto Sunrisers, who have given Shogo Kimura a massive promotion in the batting order after his outstanding knock yesterday. Really well measured knock.
Yeah, their win over Kanto Chargers wasn't simple. They pretty much are in trouble at around 5 for 70, but Kimura alongside Ibi Takahashi navigated the chase well, getting over the line with I think just over remaining.
Yeah, 9 balls remaining, that was yesterday. Around the wicket. Yamamoto Lake to the left-hander. He came in a slightly tricky time. Shogo Kimura. 44 for 3 after the loss of Will Bazisto. The run rate wasn't an issue, but it was just about him calculating his chase. Made an unbeaten 69 off 47 balls. 5 fours, 4 sixes, which impressive in its own right. But then when you add the extra caveat of having to negotiate the chase, he did exceptionally well. Probably one of the better knocks of his cricketing career.
Of course, Shogo Kimura, for those who don't know, has come from a professional career in baseball, spending most of his seasons at Hiroshima Carp. You can see there he prefers the leg side. You can see that with his stance. Very strong, straight round to the square leg area, region.
Yeah, that's probably the area to target Shogo Kimura. Is so eager to open his arms. End of a successful over from the Super Kings' point of view. 21 for 1, 4 overs gone.
Some nice swing there, that last delivery. Shaping into Kimura, cramping him up, unable to free the arms. So good start here from South Kanto opening bowlers. When you're defending a under-par score, you can often try and force the issue and do too much, but they've hit their line and lengths pretty well.
Yeah, you're right. The bowl to the field too. Subodh Ravichandran had that 3 fielder set behind square on the offside. Sort of hit that back of the length outside off stump. We see a change in bowling. Gurman replaced by young Charlie Harry-Hins, looking to exact some revenge after he was dismissed by Bazisto earlier today. And a player who, those watching on, needs very little introduction, of course. He's had such a huge 12 months in the international game, getting international attention, qualifying for an Under-19 World Cup and playing in that Under-19 World Cup. By his own admission, he probably didn't have the the most prolific World Cup campaign, but he was obviously a huge reason why they got there in the first place. And over the top, Basisto with ease for 6. Just leaned into this one. And the arms go up to confirm the half dozen.
Yeah, just a little full, that one from Harahins. Looks to pull his length back, but again, pummeled through the cover region for another boundary 4. As we hear the chime here, signalling 12 o'clock. Of course, the commentary box we're in is actually the 3rd level of a former high school in Tana Masano.
Little conference going on here between keeper, captain and bowler. We saw Basisto yesterday, so hard to bowl to. He hit 3 consecutive 6s on the reverse sweep. He's one of those players where, as a fielding captain, you're there scratching your head, lamenting the fact that you haven't got 12 or 13 fielders out on the ground. They've actually got a man at deep backward point for that reverse sweep, which in the power play, his reputation almost precedes him for a left arm orthodox spinner to have almost a deep 3rd on the boundary. It's almost unheard of, but it's the quality that Basisto showed yesterday. Round the corner and wide of the fielder for 4. That's the danger. And poor Charlie Harahins is in a really tricky spot here. I don't expect you to have an answer because it's a bit of $1 million question at the moment, Garth, but for Sabish Ravichandran, it's a case of what can you do? The power play here against a guy who can hit the ball 360 degrees around the ground.
Yeah, we saw him yesterday, didn't we? Take on the bowling of Abdul Samad. He reverse swept him for 3 consecutive 6s. Just the skill set of the man, quite incredible.
Another easy single. End of a prolific over from the Sunrisers' point of view. 15 off. And Charlie Harahins. Tough initiation for the youngster against a fine player. 36-4-1, and after a couple of quiet overs there, well and truly back on track. The Sunrisers.
As we see Jorge Kubota just hand his cap to umpire Chris Thurgate. He'll be wanting to continue in the vein of Gurman Singh and Yamamoto Lake, hitting it line and length. They started well, the pace bowlers. Sabarich just having a word with his quickie. Checking the field settings, what he desires. Deep fine leg and deep backward square are the 2 on the boundary. Of course, the final over of the power play.
Begins with a wide. Kubota, international player in his own right, of course. Been around the setup quite a while now too. Still only 27 years of age. Down the leg side, just struggling to find his groove early. Another wide signalled an extra run that they've been able to claim there to bring Shogo Kimura on strike.
Yeah, cap number 98, Jorge Kubota. He's played 19 matches for his country. He's taken 18 wickets in those games.
Was a member of that recent Quad Series squad in Thailand as well. Played 2 matches in that campaign. And a good shout from Bazisto to shout his teammate through for a single. He took 1 for 14 against Thailand, 2 for 13 against Bhutan. Tough loss to take at the back end of that Quad Series, of course, losing the final in a super over to Bahrain. For all, a pretty decent campaign for the men in Cherry Blossom Pink it was. Miss hit from Bazisto. He'll get away with it though. The reaction tells you all you need to know. You can hear it all the way up here in the comm box. It's a bit of a knack of just hurrying guys up, Kohei Kubota. Maybe a fraction quicker than you might expect. He doesn't exactly charge in. Over the top, Kimura didn't get all of it. Not that it mattered. 1 bounce for 4. That is in Kumura's arc there. You can see he takes guard on that sort of middle to off stump line. Sort of had to mechanically reconfigure his swing and technique, of course, bringing his baseball over. Should just be the one this occasion. What I was impressed with in his innings yesterday, Shogo Kimura, was the pace of his innings and able to hit the offside pushes for 1 just to keep things ticking over.
Yeah, they managed their innings well yesterday, him alongside Ibi Takahashi. In the end, comfortably getting up with 9 balls to spare over the Kansai Chargers, which ultimately put Kansai Chargers out of the competition for today. They finished 5th of the 5 teams, hence no game for them.
Into the leg side again. It's well fielded by the 2 patrolling that short leg side boundary. In the end, it's just 1. End of the over. Runs off every delivery of that over.
Going at 8 and over currently, East Kanto, well above the run rate required. A subpar score set by South Kanto, 131. Really, I need a bunch of wickets to put this match back in the balance. Can that come from Sabarish Ravichandran? Holds all the records here for JPL cricket. Top of the leaderboard in both batting and bowling for the previous 10 editions. Second on the list for most catches taken behind Makoto Taniyama. Saw Taniyama yesterday afternoon making his way to JADA, the Japan Anti-Doping Agency, out here for the week, testing the players. Glad to say the results were positive for Taniyama. Sorry, I shouldn't say positive, I should say all clear.
Yeah.
not the correct wording there, sorry.
Such are the charms of the English language.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where Kimura likes it. In the end, you'll only get 2, though. Again, with the outfielders doing a fine job. Applause from Ravichandran. As you mentioned, all of his experience will be needed here for the next hour or 2 as they try and climb their way out of the hole that they find themselves in. It does tuck Kimura up. He's able to pick up another 1.
For the second time, Haruhins in the action. Previous delivery did beautifully to save the boundary four, getting two hands to it, but loses in his feet in the action of saving the boundary, just flicking the ball to his teammate. Need to save every run possible here, South Kanto. Somehow apply pressure on this championship team, defending champs, East Kanto.
It's well bowled from Ravichandran, but again, able to squeeze one into the offside.
Don't have their captain today, Kendall Karawaki Fleming. He'll be sitting in the tent supporting the boys, but just nursing a niggle, just making sure, as Daniel Beswick referred to, a carnival of cricket coming up for Japan over the next 2 weeks. All kicks off on Friday.
Yeah, we did catch a glance of Kendall down on the boundary in the innings break. He was strapped up with that ankle, but he didn't seem too concerned. He didn't seem too limpy either, it must be said. So all fingers crossed for Japan's point of view that he's got out of that rather innocuous situation relatively injury-free. Reverse, that's the reverse from Basisto we've been waiting for all the way for 6. The fielder's come in, and then he's pulled out the trick from his kit bag. And take a look at the replay here. It was quick on the switch, and the execution even better than the footwork through the shot.
Yeah, he executed 3 in a row beautifully. Reverse sweeps yesterday on ground number 2. Was his downfall in the end though, wasn't it? And being caught.
Yeah, Abdul Samad got him in the end yesterday. Yeah, maybe just went to the well one too many times there, but I suppose when you're so successful with it, it's hard not to resist going again. 59 for 1, 7 overs gone. Kubota back. And a good assertive shout from Will Basisto at the non-strikers end.
As mentioned, the Carnival of Cricket kicking off this Friday. 9 international teams doing battle as their pathway begins to the T20 World Cup being held in Australia and New Zealand.
Should just be the one. No, they will take a second. It was a risky single, but risky 2, I should say. But the man in the deep there may be just a little bit lackadaisical in the chase, and the man of Basisto's nous and experience squeeze another one out. Keeps Kimura on strike. Kubota around the wicket. Another easy single out there. And this is the luxury that the Sunrisers have, where Ravichandran at some stage will probably have to bring an extra fielder in, but for now, the Sunrisers are more than happy to pick off the easy singles and take this game or move further and further into the ascendancy. Run rate not an issue for the Sunrisers' point of view. Mid-wicket back. As is a long on who will collect that for 1. And this is going to be the game of cat and mouse, Garth, that Ravichandran's almost playing in his own head now, because you bring up a fielder here for Kimura, you've still got a total of 4 back, 3 on the leg side. Ravichandran now even starting to think about it. Good slow ball. But yeah, it's the forced hand that Ravichandran has. It's not a luxury having not enough runs on the board. Not a luxury that Ravi Chandran gets to have here. He's only got one out on the offside. Deep mid-wicket, two deep mid-wickets almost in it. Backward square. Down the leg side. And Thurgate. Chris Thurgate, umpire Chris Thurgate signalling the wide. And it's just due to the strange dimensions of the ground, of course, us having to move all the games to the synthetic wicket just with the bad weather that we've had. It means that that pocket of the ground at mid-on, you're actually moving that fielder almost to a second mid-wicket. There was a discussion of two, but that's where the discussion ended. He's a single for Kimura to keep the strike. 65 for 1. 8 overs gone, and Garth, you're just looking over the schedule of that EAP qualifier. It's busy down in Nagoya, where you'll be for the group stage, 2 of the 3 groups down there, just the one in Sano, and the host Japan. Whilst you say they would have home advantage, they're playing on a brand new surface down there, and no one's really too sure how that will all play out. It's a fascinating competition coming up.
Yeah, it all kicks off on Friday. The games, 2 games in Nishin Nagoya, that being Fiji, Vanuatu, and then in the afternoon match will be the Cook Islands taking on South Korea. Japan's tournament gets underway on the Saturday. They take on Vanuatu.
Kimura down the ground on the offside will pick up a single to move to 16.
The format of the competition, 9 teams split across 3 groups, the top 2 going through from each group to form what they term the Super 6. All Super 6 matches will be held here on ground number 1 at the Sano International Cricket Ground. But yes, Bastisto just adds another single to his total, but yeah, really exciting for Japan cricket to see a new ground make its debut in the big city of Nagoya. This time Kimura just plays down to long on. Another single. Thoughts of a second, not taken.
Yeah, given. It was almost a celeb appeal from Ravi Chandran. Bazisto walking across there, struck about halfway up, and umpire Sagyapaka was of no disagreement to Ravi Chandran. Let's take a look at the replay here. Yeah, it was only one result. Big fist pump from Ravi Chandran there. He knows if they're going to sneak home, he needed a moment just like that.
Yeah, big wicket, isn't it, of Will Bastisto. And, well, Chandrani, we could see his thrill with that decision made. Fierce competitor is Sabarish Ravichandran, key member of the Japan national squad. Genuine all-rounder, bats in the middle of the team, but also usually bowls those middle overs as well, alongside fellow spinners Ito Davis and Takahashi. Of course, this tournament, being part of a trial, I guess gives selectors opportunities to look at all players in domestic cricket and those that have come from international shores. I guess their squad will be finalised and announced in the next couple of days.
Down the leg side, Ravi Chandran. At least 1 to the score. 2 with the wide given. Akash Gimere, new batter for the Sunrisers. We've just seen a wicket fall on SRCG2. Might be able to give you another update there in a moment or two. I'll be chanting around the wicket to Kimura. Yeah, Yokohama Bay Stars, Hiroshima Toyo Cup, where, as you mentioned, Garth, that's where he spent majority of his NPB career. Cebu Lions as well, Saitama based, so a little bit closer to here. Eventually found a home here in Japanese cricket. And Gimara able to get off the mark after facing that wide before the end of a successful over for the Super Kings, who are hanging on by a thread at this point. 70 for 2, 71 for 2 at the end of the ninth.
Looking over to ground number 2, North Kanto Lions putting it up a huge total of 217 from there. Well, they actually didn't bat their allotted overs, bowled out in the 19.2 overs. Currently, West Kanto chasing that, 78 for 2 after 7.5 overs. Just following on, if you are interested in watching the World Cup qualifiers, games will be televised on ICC TV. Do tune in. To date will be the biggest tournament ever hosted by Japan Cricket. Sam Rahman coming in to bowl his first over. Player I'm sure you'll see on that Japan national team squad when announced.
Good loud call from Gimare to pick up the leg bye. Bottom edge from Gimire, who's quick out of the blocks and should come back for an easy second. It's the luxury you get when you run the first one hard. Amble back for that second run. Dotting I's and crossing T's in this chase, the Sunrisers. Oh, a little, yeah, it's a little nick. It was a lazy shot. Gimire probably caught in two minds. Hung his bat out to dry, and nick to Marcus Thurgate, who takes the catch.
Yeah, just having a look on the JPL replay here. As you say, Daniel, he's just hung his bat out there, hasn't he? Lazy shot in the end. A simple catch for Thurgate.
Well, is there a twist here? A couple of wickets in consecutive overs. Just asked a couple of questions of the chasing side. We know what the pressure of a final can bring. 74 for 3 as we head towards the halfway mark. The Sunrisers, for all of their good work earlier in this chase, they haven't quite put their opponents away. Still a lot of work to be done here. And not the easiest proposition for a new batter in Tsuyoshi Takada. in the field dropped a catch. He's probably a tad down on confidence, and now he's been thrown the responsibility of trying to take this Sunrisers chase home for the three-peat. Of course, they've got Ibi Takahashi, among others, still left in the sheds. Maybe just looking to maybe keep Takahashi until later on. And a confident shot first up, but he might have just found the fielder who's put the chance down. It sailed towards, I think it's Charlie Harihins out there, who I'm not too sure he knew he was going to get there with that ball on the full, but it was timed so well and hard out to him.
Yeah, you're right. He made an initial movement, didn't he, and sort of backtracked somewhat. Surprised that it almost carried, but in and out. And, well, chance gone for South Kanto.
That could be a pivotal moment in this chase. Dot ball to finish. Well executed wide Yorker from Isam Rama. And just a couple of questions being asked by the Super Kings, who refuse to give up this final. 75 for 3.
Yeah, that's something we will see. They'll continue to fight to the very last ball. East Kanto's still well ahead of the run rate. Required is just over 5.5. No problem there for the chasing team. Cricket being played in perfect conditions here at Sano. 20 degrees, nice sunny day. Just a bit of a breeze for the players to keep them cool enough.
Ravi Chandran again. Third straight over.
Gets through his over really quickly, doesn't he, Ravi Chandran? Doesn't like to give batsmen much time between balls. But with the left-right hand partnership, he just has to make some field alterations.
A little bit more flight this time from Ravi Chandran. 2. And in the end, it was a well run to. It was Masato Morita's throw there that did hit the stumps. There's a direct hit, but just got caught up in the run-ups there. Great running from Takada, though, to turn that 1 into 2. Chance, Morita running in. Oh, falls short in the end. Well, maybe with the wind coming in our direction here, Garth, that might have carried all the way. Ravi Chandran willing to give the ball a little bit of air with his leg breaks. This one fired. Takada takes off quickly. Smart batting. Great little battle this. Between 3 well-known figures of the domestic circle, and as you mentioned, Garth, before, Ravi Chandran with probably the most experience out of anyone in terms of this tournament, as the runs and wickets tallies show. Good delay here with the ball from the other field coming over onto ground number 1. Probably gets away with that one, Ravi Chandran. He's strutting to the top of his mind to complete this over. Air, chance, Morita back, no, 6. How many times have we seen that today on both sides? The ball just creeping over the rope above the head of the fielder.
Yeah, frustrating for Ravi Chandran. He's got his fielders all in the right places for Kimura Shogo. This one just without a reach of Morita.
Oh, does he catch it if he's on the rope, Garth? I'm not too sure. I did notice that he was about 5 steps in.
If you had someone perhaps like Kifa Yamamoto Lake or Kohei Kubota down there, it may have been able, but not the tallest of men is Morita.
The fielding side just giving up a couple of half chances in the last couple of overs. Oh, Takada goes on the offside for 6. Sayonara to that ball. It sailed over that short boundary rope.
Yeah, lovely strike from Takada, this one. Just a bit wide of off stump from Rahman and, well, executed beautifully. It'll feel good for Takari.
Good comeback, but they've leaked buys here, falling short of Thurgate. Should just be 2.
Yeah, just pitched in that sort of sandy base, didn't it? May have got an uneven bounce there again, and he's just taking a bit of time here. I think he's got some dust in the eye from that. Just a short delay as he takes care of himself.
So we've seen Sagia Parker just having a quick look at Marcus Thurgate. I'm not too sure, maybe he wears contacts as well, which probably complicates things. As someone who is optically challenged and bespectacled myself, I know playing sport, I wear a couple contacts in myself, and you're really finicky with any sort of dust or sweat that gets into your eye. Saw there, just to reiterate, in the last couple of overs, we had a 6 off the last ball of the previous over, and then 6 first ball of the 13th over. We had the drop catch of Charlie Harry-Hins, and we had the 6 in the last over that went just over Morita's head, but as we said, had he stayed on the rope, he might have been half a shout of catching it. In those 2 moments, I think if the Super Kings were to look back, and I know they're behind in the game, from a run rate point of view, they're the moments you need to take if you are going to pull a match like this out of the fire. You can just see now that after this little stoppage in play, the body language around the group, the fielding group, Garth, is probably not as up and about as it might have been 5 or 6 overs ago when they took the wicket at Basisto. Need just a special moment here from someone. Can they turn to a player like Esam Rahman to deliver it with ball in hand? Outside edge. Comes the field set back, and Takada is lightning between the wickets. If he's not the fastest runner between wickets in this competition, he's got to be in the conversation. He made that look pretty easy too, it must be said, Garth.
Yeah, he looks busy at the crease, doesn't he? Takari.
Breeze starting to come in now. Definitely a little chilly here in Sano. And this time he's turned back, probably rightly, from Shogo Kimura, who was running to the danger end there.
He was picked up pretty late in the draft, wasn't he? Was Takari. Of course, another Chiba Shark player on show. Plenty of them.
Full toss. Probably the place to miss, just outside the off stump there, where you can use that pocket at point, which is a little bit deeper from a ground dimension standpoint. Yeah, you're right. He went midway through the 3rd round, Takada back to the team that he was playing for last year. So good to get back in the green and gold Kimura is able to dead bat that. Some nice touch there. Into the offside for 1. That's the end of the 12th over. Rahman 1 for 13 off his 2 overs. He's been good. Just don't have the runs to work with at 98 for 3.
Quick update from ground 2, which is looking to be turning into a cracker. North Kanto setting the score of 217 for 10. And in reply, West Kanto Hurricanes currently 119 for 2. Midway through the 11th over, Hugo Tani Cali, star of the under-19 squad, 59 from his 36 deliveries, and he's batting alongside Lachlan Yamamoto Lake, who's on 21 from 11, so that match could turn out to be a real cracker. Just as I've spoken, looks to a wicket has fallen. Still 7 wickets in hand, and current run rate at 11.
Hutterhin's over the wicket. Fellow southpaw in Kimura. Can he at least add a sting in the tail of this finale? And trying to race through this over as well. Hutterhin's, as he's seen his opponents do a little bit earlier today. Well run single. Run rate not an issue from a Sunriser's point of view. Ravichandran now is forced to just work out how we can tighten. Takata sets off straight away. Marita's non-dominant hand is unable to work a run-out chance. A penny for Ravichandran's thoughts, who's currently on the square leg boundary, hoping to see a catch fall in his lap. Big shout from the offside fielding contingent, but either the keeper or the bowler were too interested. And the big shout comes out from square of the wicket. Dead giveaway. It's probably not out. This one should be a wide. Well worked for 1, that from Kimura. Quite over. Hurricanes will be happy with that, although the Sunrisers know that they are in relative control. 101 for 3. Make that 102 for 3.
Yeah, just another 30 runs needed and 7 runs to do it in, but you can just see the mind ticking over from Savarish, just continuing to think how he can swing the momentum back in his team's favour. Difficult to do at this stage, of course, but they won't give up fighting. Looks like he's gone back to his pace bowler, Kubota. He does have options, and at the top, Gurman Singh and Kifa Yamamoto Lake bowled 2 overs apiece. Hutterhin's has another 2 remaining, as does Kubota. Captain himself, Ravichandran, has 1 remaining over.
Kubota around the wicket to Shogo Kimura. Top edge, Thurgate running back. And well, what should have been an easy catch, I think he miscalculated, but he does enough to hold on. Kubota takes his first of the day. 102 for 4.
Yeah, just having a look at the replay, and he gets himself into an awkward position, doesn't he? But he takes his 3rd catch of the innings, does Thurgate. cracking one at the top. This one, a lot more simpler. Four wickets down now, East Kanto, in search of what will be a three-peat should they get up, should they get the other 30 runs in the remaining overs. At the moment, they're coasting along nicely. Captain Karawaki Fleming will be sitting quite happily in the tent, watching his teammates go about the job. Certainly, the bowlers set them up beautifully.
It's as if it's Sharma Sagai Slater out for the Sunrisers. Thought maybe. Let's see. Takahashi or Ito Davis. Will false start there for Kubota. A little tricky run up in that pocket of the ground. It's seen a lot of traffic over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah, still Little Davis and Takahashi in the sheds should they need them. Just under 7 overs left in the innings. Kubota for a moment, had he picked up cleanly, might have had a chance at the non-strikers end, but no luck.
Yeah, Sugaya Slater has played 12 internationals for Japan. We haven't seen too many bats from him in those 12 matches, so perhaps just an opportunity for captain to get a better look at him, how he handles it.
Smart not to take the one on that occasion. Tsuyoshi Tagada, he's fast. He's probably not that fast.
Kohei Kubota plays his local cricket for the Wyverns Club. Can he be the hero for his team?
Short, top edge. Will fall short of Morita running in. She's got a knack. We mentioned it before. He was bowling to Will Bazista, I think it was, and when he bends his back and he sort of bowls that effort ball, it can come through a little bit quicker. That one, if anything, probably beat Sugaya Slater for pace as well. Well played, off the back foot. If anything, the outfield there, maybe on the slower side, had a bit more of a collection of water, and in the end, the outfielder does well to keep to 2. End of over 14, 106.44.
Yes, part of the ground where it doesn't drain as quite so as well, does it? I think that ball just pulled up a bit. Off the bat, I thought it was 4 for all day, but good chase from the boundary fielder. Rahins will return to the top of his bowling line from the school end here on what is Children's Day in Japan. part of the Golden Week series of holidays. Will this be another golden victory for East Kanto? As Daniel Beswick alluded to, could be a three-peat should they get up and win today's match.
Top edge. Loop over the top of the two backward point fielders, and it'll do enough to run to the rope. A little bit of topspin there for Takata. Helps it on its way.
Yeah, wide and short from Harahins this time. And that part of the outfield races away for four.
Called through for one. And Sakai Slater went straight away. Turn it into an easy one. There's some frivolity going over there on field two. I'm not too sure what's going on. Meanwhile, the Sunrisers here are almost with one hand on the trophy. And a half shout, nothing from Harahins. Well, bottom edge. Odegaard will get round to that to keep to two. Down the track, man out there, interested over the top of his head for six. Again, it might have been fractionally misread by the fielder, who came in a step or two. Replay might tell us a little bit more, Garth.
Yeah, I want to say it was back on the rope. May have been in an easier position to take that. There's just been 3 or 4 half chances, haven't there, for South Kanto? Unable to capitalise on any of them.
Reverse. His runs, I'm not sure how much bat was involved. They'll come back for two again. I think the call will be buys. It is. So Guy Slater showing he's got a few tricks up his sleeve here with a chance to bat. 121 for 4. And a big over, which you'd have to say has probably put this match to bed.
Yeah, almost similar to last year's final. It was a little one-sided, and East Kanto making simple work of it. 5 overs remain and just 11 runs needed for victory. It's become a bit of a dynasty for this East Kanto Sunrise squad. I haven't seen the best of South Kanto today. They really did dig a hole for themselves, losing those seven wickets in the space of 30 runs.
Short as Yamamoto Lake begins a second spell. Yeah, just the one given up. Yeah, they were none for 40 at one stage to begin their day. Josh Brown fell to Ibrahim Takahashi and it sparked a monumental collapse. They lost, made 5 for 6 there. Horror show period for them. And play and miss. The two West Australians going toe-to-toe again.
Yeah, loving this matchup. It's like he's just bending the back a bit more, Kiefer. trying to get the better of his fellow West Australian.
Another good delivery, but Sky Slater ends up negotiating, riding that for a single.
A couple of friendly words on the way back to the top of his mark too.
It's an easy decision of a wide there for umpires Parker and Thurgate. Another one shaved off the target. And the dynasty of East Kanto Sunrisers looks in no danger of being challenged here. Out of the middle. Should only be one though, with Hada Hins cleaning up. Good strong throw into the keeper as well. Well, it seems to be a case of the rest of the field standing and applauding the work of East Kanto again. See a ball race onto the field here, so we will have a little bit of a delay, but it was their tournament to lose. It must be said these two teams playing in the final, arguably the two of the stronger sides. Good shot. And he should get half a dozen for it. And they're racing home now, about to race through the finishing tape. It's the guy, Slater, showing his batting nous.
Yeah, lovely pick up this one. Maybe bragging rights over his mate from Western Australia. Just manages to land over the boundary. Thurgate just checking it was in fact maximum 6. Just one run away now.
Field in. Defended. So we'll get this going to a 17th over at least, but all but confirmed. 3 back-to-back championships for the East Kanto Sunrisers and the men in green and gold. Once again at the top of the podium. Always a tricky one for this. It looks like it's going to be Watergate to bowl the 17th over and unfortunately have the duty of bowling what will likely be the last over of the JPL 11 final.
Yeah, this will hurt Sabarish Ravichandran, such a competitor after the draft. He would have thought he had a great chance of winning this tournament. They have to go back to 2020 since they last won it.
And the men in green and gold on Golden Week with a golden performance to claim JPL 11 champions. Back to back to back. The Sunrise dynasty continues in Sano. Injury depleted, it mattered little as Kendall Karawaki Fleming looked on. But his teammates and the squad that they built in the draft strengthened, consolidated and performed once again. JPL 11 champions, the Sunrisers, and deserved champions after what was a pretty emphatic final win, Garth Thomas.
Yeah, congratulations to East Kanto. Captain Kendall Karawaki Fleming not playing today, but William Bostisto standing into that role, and what a performance, unbeaten over the tournament, deserved winners, and again another one-sided final in JPL, edition number 11, and as you say, a golden week for the team. Three-peat champions yet again, set up perhaps at the top from stand-in captain today, William Bostisto, is 36, came from 26 balls, and other than that it was Shogo Kimura's 30 and Takara's 22 not out, got them across the line. Partnership, good partnership there at the end with Shoma Sugaya Slater, and what will be a much celebrated victory for the team.
You see the teams shaking hands, and fair play to everyone involved. It's been a tricky week or so with the weather that we've had, but to be able to put on a tournament and have a final on a reserve day that was put aside just in case we needed it, and it meant that we got to see a final and a champion performance from the East Kanto Sunrisers, who had some batting left in the sheds if they needed it, but allowed the likes of Tsuyoshi Takara and Shoma Sagai Slater to finish things off, to back up the work of Bostisto and Shogo Kimura at the top. It's been a pleasure delivering JPL 11 from the Sano International Cricket Ground. Congratulations once again in order for East Kanto. Third place finisher we'll learn of pretty soon, with that game concluding on SICG number 2. And another second place performance for the South Kanto Super Kings, who unfortunately just left a little bit out there on the table. As for the bowling for South Kanto, well, they tried with all their might, unfortunately just didn't quite have enough runs on the board to defend, and it brought about an early finish here in Sano. Garth signing off from another JPL. Pleasure to be with you next to me, and yeah, it's a case of back to the drawing board for the forward-chasing teams, with East Kanto once again champions.
Yeah, well said, and kochira koso, as they'd say in Japan, back at you. It's been a pleasure commentating with you, Daniel. As you mentioned, there's a lot of cricket coming up for Japan, that 9-team international tournament, World Cup qualifying tournament, to kick off on Friday here in Japan, both grounds, Sano and the Nishin Nagoya, making its debut as an international cricket ground. Do tune into that. You can follow that all along ICC TV. But Daniel, it's been a pleasure commentating with you. I wish you well over the next couple of 2 weeks. Enjoy the rest of your stay here in Japan.
And yeah, good luck to you in Nishin on a new surface there with Nick Crease. We'll be listening on, especially in the afternoon, as we get a couple of breaks in no afternoon fixtures here at the start of the group stage. So make sure you join us both over there for the EAP qualifiers with Japan and 8 other sides on the road to T20 World Cup 2028. But from all the action here, on behalf of Garth and myself, Daniel Beswick, it's once again congratulations to East Kanto, who celebrate JPL 11 trophy holding in a few moments' time. We'll head down and celebrate that with them. But the coverage concludes here on the JCA YouTube, as well as Fancode and ICC TV. Next you'll hear from us will be the East Asia Pacific qualifier beginning on May 8th. Join us then, but for now, from SICG number 1, it's goodbye.